Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another wonderful episode of Behind the Mic right here on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. My name is Ryan Treasure. I'm the VP of Broadcast Operations, also known as Radio Ryan. So we wanted to do something really cool for you guys and bring you kind of behind the mic, behind the scenes of Voice America, talk a little bit about some of our new programming, new hosts, all of those wonderful things. And we have a great panel of experts joining us today from the Voice America management team that I'd like to introduce. First and foremost, we have our wonderful network director, Sandra Rogers. She's an amazing human being, a great producer, and absolutely happy to have her on. And she's also my partner in crime on these broadcasts. We started them a couple of months ago. Sandra, welcome to the feed.
Hey, Ryan. Good afternoon. How are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful.
Thank you for the applause. Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. I'm cool indoors. We know it's a warm 116 degrees outside here in California. And then, across the world, right there, or at least the country, there are a lot of folks, a lot of states that have record heat right now. So stay cool, right? And be safe out there. But it's wonderful to be here with you. And we're going to have a couple of other colleagues join us for a round table conversation about Behind the Mic. This show is really about our host. It features what our hosts are up to. They share their experiences and just give us general conversations about life and how they're handling it. And today we're going inside, like you say, behind the scenes, and just get a chance to meet with the brain thrust that's behind the scenes that run these shows, work with the host and that sort of thing. And Ryan, you're one of those wonderful individuals that's committed to the work that you do here at Voice America, and really work with the host, especially the ones that come on and join the network for the first time, and they're just feeling their way around. And there you are, the engineers, Jeff Gerstel, other executive producers, to hold those hands and be the guides to making great radio and great programming. So it's an honor, it's a privilege, definitely to be here.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. And I think an interesting statistic, if we were to think about the collective experience of producers, right, and radio folks, like across the spectrum of the staff here at Voice America, I mean, you're talking, like hundreds of years of experience.
Yes, combined, right? Absolutely.
Yeah, combined experience. It's mind-boggling how much experience there is, here with our team. I want to bring on our next team member, who's the director of host services. He manages our customer service, host services department, working with hosts on onboarding new clients and walking them through the path of creating all of their audio elements, all of their production pieces, their scripts, graphics for their shows, all of those different pieces. And he is none other than Mr. Jeff Gerstel on site at San Diego, right, Oceanside. Jeff Gerstel, welcome to the program.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, Sandra. How you doing? Yeah, hello, we're not really having a heat wave where I am, which is on the coast, and it's about 72 degrees, and the ocean's behind me. But where I live, which is about 15 miles east of here, it's about 93 degrees. So it does get hot. I will be probably moving around just a little bit because the sun is beating down on me, and in case you can't tell, I'm kind of at a loss in the hair department, so I don't want to get too sunburned, so I may move to the car at some point. But thanks for having me on today, and it's nice to be with everybody here.
Sunscreen is
to see you, Jeff.
Good for us, Jeff. Just that sunscreen, it's very important.
Yeah, and I forgot it, so there you go. I'll probably be heading back toward the car, so you may see the scenery moving behind me just a little bit.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us on the stream today, Behind the Mic. All of these people we brought on so far, instrumental about what does go on behind the microphone. And we have one more panelist that we want to bring on, who is Oh, Randall is just one amazing human being. Let me just set a little backstory, right? Randall and I have worked here for, maybe almost exactly the same amount of time, give or take like 5 or 6 months or something like that, right? And then a couple of years after Randall came here, he had this great idea. He's like, we're going to create this channel, and it was called the Seventh Wave Network. And when he brought on the Seventh Wave Network and we brought that on as a company, it was a hugely successful channel that generated millions and millions of listeners. And so kudos to Randall for his achievements in those spaces and his continued achievements with, bringing on some of the cutting edge shows that we have on the network with Breaking Banks, and then also Task Force 7 talking about cybersecurity. And so Randall Libero, senior executive producer, I want to bring him into the fold. Randall, welcome to the program.
Hey, folks.
And the crowd goes wild. Hey, Randall.
Thanks for that. Boy, we're just having a ball here in this heat wave. We used to call this the fireside chat. Like we're burning up in Phoenix here.
Yeah, no, it's a chat, all right.
Yeah.
No fire.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that introduction, Ryan. Yeah, Seventh Wave, and in I think it was on about 11 years from 2006 to 2017. And we had about 50 million listeners on it, just that channel alone. So it was a lot of fun putting that together, and all the shows. Some of those shows are still on the Empowerment Channel. So it's great.
Sorry for those of you guys that are just seeing, I had a little munchkin sneak in, and she's trying to charge her device, and I apparently kicked out the charging thing with my foot underneath my desk, so she just had to go crawl under there and get it cleaned up. But even when they're 7 years old, we bring them to the studio and we get them ready to go. Get them
on the mic.
Yeah, learning how to edit.
Get them behind the mic. Get them exposed to media. Hey, Randall, along the lines of that Seventh Wave channel, and I know that we have integrated some of those programs into our Empowerment Talk channel, which is equally inspirational, spiritual, offers growth ideas, puts pieces of the puzzles back together and that sort of thing. But have you seen, and I know we're going to talk about what we've done and bringing on the new host, but I'm curious, this shift that's happened post-COVID, right? Where a lot of folks that are in that spiritual space are feeling like they have to come forward now and do some healing because of where we were, where we've been in our lives for the past year and a half or so. And as we move forward, I'm having more conversations with folks that are, in that space of spirituality, psychics, intuitives, healers. And I wonder if that is going to be, maybe that's how Seventh Wave got born, because that need was there for that energy to offer that balance. And now it's coming back full circle, I think.
Yeah, it's everything on a cycle.
Yeah.
Everything's on a cycle. So I would say right now, we've seen, especially last year, we saw a huge spike in our listeners on the Health and Wellness channel, because people were looking for health and wellness information and coming to our network to find out what's going on, hearing from our hosts, the experts in their fields.
Right.
But yeah, on the Empowerment channel as well. And people are coming to the business channel because they wanted to find out, what solutions could be for my business in this situation. So, talk radio is a terrific information resource, and we've got over 600 programs and archives, and we've got about 200 to 300 shows that are on live right now that you can hear about what's going on today from, people who are our hosts, who are experts in their field and professionals. So, that we are an internationally popular network. We serve an audience of millions of listeners every month. We've been on for 20 years, longer than every other podcast service, broadcaster. We've been streaming online. But the main thing is that with hosts and myself and all of us working with the hosts themselves, is we're their media partner. So our producers, engineers, network staff, we're always ready and eager to support and guide you, whether it's developing your initial show idea, advising you on a media strategy, helping you with social promotion. We're always there ready to help. That's what we do at Voice America. It's what makes us different from every other platform and service out there.
Totally agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree too. And, Jeff Gersler can attest to this too, coming from the kind of the AM FM space previous to, us working in the new media space. One of the reasons that I left AM and FM radio was just the cringy idea. And I think this is really relevant right now, especially with, things like Project Veritas and different, journalists coming out and speaking out against certain ways that, those high end executives and directors are, pushing certain narratives based off of advertising dollars, and editing scripts and such in a manner that are putting people in a place where those reporters are not really serving the news that's best for for actual newsworthy information. We're getting a narrative that's based on whatever the advertiser wants to push and whoever wants to spend the most dollars. And I experienced something similar to that working in AM talk radio, where the morning guy who was having a conversation, he was kind of a holistic health and wellness guy, did some current events and politics and stuff like that. And, he was talking about depression and different ways that people can deal with depression and those types of things. And the sponsor happened to be whoever the drug company is for Zoloft at the time. And, our program director was like, hey, you can't, don't give out that type of advice. It's against these dollars coming in on the advertising side. And, I kind of had a problem with that, number one, and then the station kind of got into some financial troubles. And after me thinking about that, I was like, I'm done. I got to get out of here. And that's where I ended up in live events for, several years before I ended up at Voice America. But I think, that's what really makes Voice America really unique is the narrative from our radio show hosts are coming from a place of their own heart, their own love, and wanting to share information that's vital and important for people to learn, important life lessons and, lessons in business, lessons in health and wellness, and lessons in spirituality and all these things that's not driven by an advertising based narrative. And the host has complete control of all of their content and has the ability to do what they want to do, and put it on a platform that's tried and true, that has great professionals like all of you guys that are guiding them through the way, along with our production and engineering department. So really going behind the mic, there is an entire team of human beings that are really striving every day to make sure we have good sound quality. We're working with people on the marketing side, social media, press releases, all of those different things. And that's what I love about being here for the last 18, almost 19 years, is being able to, do that from a place of creative freedom, and not being constrained by anybody, and that's really huge for me.
I think accountability is also important, Ryan, and you touched on that when you talked about the difference in how people are consuming information, and who they trust giving that information, as opposed to regurgitating talking points. So that is a strong level of attraction to professionals when we talk to them about hosting radio show with us. And, if they're given real credibility to their content, they expect and deserve the next shows around them and on opposite channels to have that same integrity from the host. So, and the receiver of this information, the listeners, are there because they're looking for some guidance, some real answers, to untangle this web that they're in. So it is accountability. That's strong. I value that. And I see that across our platform here, coming from the professionals that are hosting radio shows here. I know that we've had some newer programs that have come to the network, Ryan, right? I mean, you were going to share some new programs and what those shows are about that recently joined the network.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to just touch on one last thing in conjunction with what we were talking about, and And this is part of the core. Voice America has always continued our commitment as a dedicated pioneer of technical breakthroughs for industry-leading innovations in both production and online media marketing. We're a company of high standards, and we're ardent supporters of the inspired values and passionate messages of each of our radio hosts. And that's just a portion of our vision statement that I wanted to share with people. The vision statement is right here behind me, hangs on my wall every day. Right. I look at it when I come in here, and it just reminds me, that we are people of integrity, and we work very hard for our customers, our radio show hosts, our podcasters, our video people, whatever the case may be, to, really reach out and strive to provide the best level of service that we possibly can in a manner, providing digital services that are second to none. And, I always like the analogy of, you can, go buy like a lower end car, and when you drop it off, and you got to get an Uber to drive you home and all that kind of stuff. But if you buy a Porsche, or if you buy, a Mercedes or something, you have a concierge service that will handle the majority of the things that you need for your automobile. And I like to look at us as kind of the concierge service of digital media and broadcast, podcast. Just so as we move into, looking at sharing some of our new shows that have launched over the last few weeks, I'm excited to talk about that. So we got some of their graphics over here. So we're going to pop some of these up on the screen, talk about who they are and what they do.
Okay.
Our first show, we have The Human Contract with Maria Dolores of Scandinavia. What an interesting woman, so spiritual, so awesome. She's a podcast that you can check out on the network every week. Just a fantastic show. If you guys haven't had a chance to go listen to it, you can go find it on any podcast directories, as well as voiceamerica.com. Quick search for The Human Contract on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Coming up next, I think this is your host, Sandra, which is the Flipside of Adversity, Living Strong, baby, with Dr. Deirdre Jackson.
I could speak to that for sure. Thank you so much. Dr. Deirdre Jackson, Flipside of Adversity, student of John Maxwell, dedicated individual who is committed to getting us back on track. I mean, everybody has these setbacks in their lives, and some things that come out of left field. You didn't expect it. It has put you back on your heels. How do you get up and stay strong and get on the other side of that? And so that is her show, Flipside of Adversity. With Dr. Deirdre Jackson. So powerful program. She brings strong guests with stories of triumph, of disappointment and triumph. But it's definitely a wonderful show to tune into and grow from as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've listened to a couple of her episodes, and she definitely has this amazing amount of passion for what she does.
Her attitude, right? Yes.
All right, we got another show, Dr. Patricia Halligan, Recovery, the Hero's Journey. She's on at 12 o'clock Pacific time on the Voice America Health and Wellness channel. You can go check that out. Again, another awesome person. She's got videos of all of her episodes as well out there that are available, as well as the podcast that's available on voiceamerica.com. And then you can listen to the show live, like I said, Tuesdays at 12 noon Pacific time on the Health and Wellness channel. And if you really want to follow your true north and figure out, how you can help yourself get recovered, in a multitude of instances of recovery, of how you can recover from trauma, how you can recover from, drug abuse or drug addiction. This is definitely a great show for you guys to listen to, and we'll shed a whole bunch of light on some great resources for folks in that particular space. So Dr. Halligan on Recovery, the Hero's Journey. And
the Guitar Man.
Yes.
Man.
So
I call this the unradio show.
Yes, it totally is. And, I told you guys in one of our meetings, right? I was standing in the studio, and he was kind of towards the end of one of his shows, and it's a live show Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific on the Variety Channel. And I mean, he's got his classical guitar up, and he's just finger picking through all these fantastic songs, and and then he starts talking about, hey, this is easy, anybody can do it. And then you start listening to what he's playing.
It's like watching an online jam session.
Classical guitar. He's a teacher. Yeah, he's a teacher. He's a professor. He's a thought leader, longtime musician, and really, really cool guy. And if you really like guitar and you want to hear about some of the, cool stories behind that, and some of the guests that he's going to be bringing on as well, and listen to some fantastic classical guitar, you got to check out Around the World with Kevin Collins for sure.
That's awesome.
He was definitely fun to work with.
Yeah, it's been a great show. So we got another podcast also that has really been fantastic. Paula Clausen, she's an amazing person. She's working tirelessly as a volunteer with Project Mercy. And you got to check out her show, which is a podcast that drops every week, The Rewards of Volunteering. You can check that out on the Empowerment Channel on Voice America. And definitely, there's something I talk about on Finding a Frequency all the time called servant leadership, and so there are rewards to volunteering and to be a servant. And so, if you really want to get down to the heart of that, go check out this particular program.
Yeah. Volunteerism is huge and much, much needed. So great show.
And there's Nathalie. Well, let me tell you about Nathalie. Well, Nathalie is just, she's such a joy. It's a lot of fun to work with. She is, this is a wonderful lifestyle show. She is the bon vivant girl, your happiness fairy. It's about saying yes to life. She shares ways to enjoy every aspect of your life, say yes to life, find happiness. And she talks to people from all different backgrounds, health and wellness. She had a woman on about finding a new job seeking, which was fantastic. I was listening to that show and I thought, boy, if I was looking for a job, I'd definitely call this woman. So, it was really a lot of fun show. It's very positive. It's very uplifting. And Nathalie is just an amazing woman with a great story. And I would just check it out. It's a live show, so you can call in. It's, it's a really fun program to listen to. If you want something to make you feel better, this is definitely the show to listen to.
Right on, Randall. Right on. Thanks for.
I think I'm going to do that, Randall. Check that show out for sure.
All right. So the next one we have is. This is the Network of Executive Women, right?
Yes.
This is so powerful right now. Advancing All Women with Sarah Alter. She is the president and CEO of Network of Executive Women. I had the opportunity to interview her on the Finding a Frequency program. And man, I absolutely, or woman, excuse me. I had the greatest time interviewing her. She is such a powerhouse when it comes to thought leadership and the idea of the leading from the feminine. And then also we had some great conversations too about the idea of bottom up leadership versus top down leadership. And, some of these things that she talks about in that space for, standard business executives and anybody who's in the space of networking and getting in touch with other people. She's a fantastic person when it comes to her shows at 7:00 in the morning Pacific time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. And definitely anybody who wants to learn about business at all and networking should go listen to this program. She's absolutely phenomenal. All right, Sandra, you got to tell us about this fantastic lady.
The Christ is right, not for sissies. So the show is not for you if you want to live in this space where you're just going to stay in your misery and feel like you're in the whole world is crashing around you and you don't have any other outlook. You just want to complain. That's not for you. The show is not for sissies. Hosted by Barbara Cook, who is just this wonderful human being who has an attitude of gratitude when it comes to her gift and wants to help the world. She wants to invite folks to listen to the show who are really going through some things and trying to figure life out. She also encourages folks to call into the show, listeners to call in or write her and share your experiences of how your life has changed because you decided to accept, spirituality and Christ in your life, recognize that, the world isn't stacked against us. We just have to change our mindset. So The Crisis Right, Not for Sissies, Barbara Cook, check the show out. It's a wonderful show. Wonderful human being. Great sense of humor as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. I had a fun time. Her show just launched recently, and I had a great time doing training sessions with her and getting her all ready for the shows. It was all right. This is our last new show that we have, the North Star.
William
Ulrich on the Voice America Business Channel. This is a podcast that comes out on a weekly basis. You guys got to go definitely check it out. This guy just gets tactical about business.
He looks serious right now.
He tries to provide the guiding North Star for people in business so they know where they're trying to go.
Correct.
Know what things they're trying to accomplish. And so he literally gets tactical around your approaches to business, how you're going to focus on business, so that way you can drive, key performance indicators and really bring in the revenue generation, and also talking about, the changes that have happened in business due to the pandemic, and how different businesses are kind of coming out of that and how they're working with that. So you want to definitely check out that show, The North Star with William Ulrich, on the Voice America Business Channel.
Yeah, and he'll tell you what you're doing right in business as well. That's the great thing about it. There's a lot of people that are doing the right thing too.
It sounds like a program definitely in synergy with the other shows that are not only on the business channel, but our health and wellness channel, our empowerment channel, influencers, variety. These are just folks that are professionals, actually, who are committed to their gift, their craft. They've embraced that, and now they're stepping into their light to share it with us, right? And so that is a beautiful thing about the programs that we have here. It's a beautiful thing about the professionals that have decided to take it on in their lives, in addition to all the other things that they're doing in their lives at the moment.
Yeah, I always thought that was awesome, because you have, these people who are presidents and CEOs, founders of companies, and, they're taking the time out of their day, or, 1 hour a week or whatever that time is, to get a guest to talk about a subject, provide information free of charge, and really get out there and help people. And I think that's also one of the differences when you do step behind the microphone of Voice America. One of the things that are, much different for us than they are for other places is the fact that we have all of this human capital here at Voice America that is willing and able to assist our hosts in any capacity. I just put up on the screen right here. Let us know if you have any questions. We'd love to hear from you. Please send us some comments. Voice America has been producing content since before the iPhone even existed. We used to call it just on-demand content, and at the time there was like flip phones and whatnot when we first went online, and the only other online audio service was AOL's Boombox Radio, which was a music service at the time. And then there was Voice America, who did talk radio. And so I want you guys to pull from the wealth of knowledge that we have here at the company, and, allow us to kind of, give you any feedback or information on any challenges that you guys might be having, in the space of marketing or anything like that. I think, Randall, we have this really cool graphic that kind of talks about how Voice America works and some of the different things that we do. So I kind of want to turn it over to you just for a minute. Okay. So going over the, how this works from Voice America, type of scenario, because I think it's important. People, may not quite understand, what we mean when we say concierge service of, level of internet broadcasting.
Well, I really want to tell people two things. One is, one of the most common questions I get is, how does it work? And sometimes when someone asks me that question, I have to kind of define what they really want to know. But really, we're talking about streaming conversations over the internet and having shows available in a content library that people can play them back. So looking at this snapshot, it's you start off doing the show. You do your show in your home or office. It's either goes out live or pre-recorded by our engineers. And that photo you see there with the gentleman with our back to us is one of our engineers. And that is a real shot from our real studios. That's not a stock photo. So that's what it looks like when we're doing your show. He's got screens up, he's looking at, he's got a board he's running and all of that. The next thing is one of the most important pieces. So our content goes out through a content delivery network, a global enterprise network. And why is this important? Well, here's why. You're familiar with mobile applications like Apple Podcasts and, Spotify and so forth. But when you're looking to optimize your show and getting it out there and building an audience, we stream through a browser-enabled system. So Voice America is what appears to be a website. It's really a platform. And people go to Voice America to hear content. So that streaming content is going through web browsers that by organic search, and it's also plus going out through mobile apps. So when you see it going out through our network, when you go to voiceamerica.com, you're looking directly at and listening to the content that's going through our network. It's not going through a mobile app. And then it's going out to all these other services. Plus, because we have this delivery network capability, we can optimize through search the title of your show, the name of your show, categories for it, all sorts of tags and things like that. They're going to help people find your show if they have never heard of you or heard of the show before. That's very, very important. Mobile apps don't work this way. So with Voice America, you get the browser-enabled streaming plus the archiving on our platform plus the mobile apps. And when we have that, we can connect to social media. So whatever device people have, it connects right through that organic search directly to your show that's coming through Voice America, wherever it is. We are everywhere. A lot of podcast services said we're everywhere. They're not everywhere. They're not streaming through this capability. We do. So that's a big difference in what we offer through our platform.
Yeah, Randall, I totally agree. That is definitely a big difference in how our platform works. And, I think another thing to kind of point out too, as you talk about search engine optimization, there's a couple of things that come to mind when I think about search engine optimization, especially when you talk about, the power of the longevity of Voice America. When you have a page on Voice America that has outbound links to your website, our domain authority is very good because of our tenure, right? And so having your backlink to your website on Voice America creates value in and of itself, besides just the content creation or content marketing component. But then also looking at, some of the other services we provide with press releases and some of that as well, that also create additional sets of backlinks to your radio show page, your business's website, all of those different things, coupled with social media, the browser-based distribution, the app-based distribution on all of the major podcasting entities like Spotify and iHeartRadio and Amazon and Stitcher and TuneIn and all of those places. Really it becomes a 360-degree holistic kind of marketing engine, as well as content marketing and content creation. And if you do things the right way, and you really try to take the idea of repurposement of the content that you create as well. There are a myriad of other things that hosts of ours are doing, from taking transcripts and turning those into blog articles for, their websites, or little snippets for promotion on social media. There's all sorts of different ways that you can use that information and content that you're creating to, bolster those listeners and really kickstart having that audience. And that's one of the things that we bring to the table, that I think is very invaluable for a new host coming onto the network.
Yeah. And one of the questions I always get is, how do you make money with a radio show? And I'm going to tell you right now, the main way that hosts do that, it's repurposing, repackaging, reselling content. A lot of people in podcasting talk about advertising and all that. In my book, that's secondary. When you have a radio show, you're creating content which has a shelf life. Some of our shows go back over a decade. So that is tremendous value, because people can go back, and we often see, looking at our audience analytics, which we can talk about, is shows that are being listened to that are 5 and 10 years old on our network. They're being played. They're being played. We have shows that haven't even been on. I have a show, Goodnight Maryland Radio. There's not been a new program of that particular program, a particular show, for about 3 years, and it still gets over 100,000 listeners a year. So shelf life is tremendous. You really have to understand this about podcasting, especially from our network, which has been on for 15, 16 years. So the impact that we make on the internet, the footprint that we have, loading up content into the search engines for that long, that's why our network has the power that it has, because we've been online and we've been constantly every day putting content up, online for people to search, and find. So if you're looking at categories or things like that, we're commanding those areas in terms of the different categories of our shows, from the channels, from the individual shows, from the subject matter. And our site itself is its own search engine. You can search for any subject that you want to find out about right on Voice America, and it will bring up all the shows that relate to that search that you just asked for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Randall, thank you so much. We appreciate you putting together that that slide on how kind of the circle or the wheel of motion of Voice America works. We really appreciate that. You guys, we're gonna have some great content for you guys coming up over the coming weeks. We do have July 4th and a couple of holiday things that are happening, so there might be a little bit of a break in that space possibly, but we'll be back strong right here on Voice America's Behind the Microphone. Sandra, again, you are always a pleasure to have on. Your insights, knowledge, and all that are just fantastic. Randall, same for you.
Thank you, Ryan.
With you guys for so long. I just absolutely love working with you guys. You guys are amazing human beings for what you do. And Sandra, just kudos to you. Randall, kudos to you as well. And just let's just keep rocking and rolling, and letting people know who we are and what we do, and all that fun stuff.
Well, we're excited to be a part of. I'm super excited to be a part of the Voice America family. This movement that we have here, Randall, a perfect way to present this in a nutshell, what we do and how we do it. The beautiful thing is the technology part, which stops a lot of professionals from going forward with a radio show or a podcast. We're saying we got that. You come with your content and you stay focused on your goal, and that is to reach and teach, and then we will push the content forward. Yes, and we will push it forward and syndicate it and show you how to repurpose it and guide you in that space. And it has worked tremendously for professionals. We have professionals that have been with us since our inception here, and we continuously have professionals that stay with us once they try the pilot series out. It's not pilot series out. So we love that evolution. And I'm grateful to be a part of that. So you're welcome, Ryan. Thank you, Randall, for your genius and your expertise. I think we lost Jeff Gerstl, right? He was having some technical difficulties.
Dropped off into the ocean.
He decided to go for a swim.
So Jeff is trying out our remote our remote colleague.
Remote feed there.
Yeah, he'll have to read.
The roving reporter.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about our network is you can be anywhere. Your guest can be anywhere, and you can do the show. If you can be sitting outside in your back porch, having a margarita and doing your radio show on Voice America. And a lot of our hosts now are utilizing even the video capability, like you see right here, while their show's on live. We can also do that, which is a lot of fun.
Before we go ahead, Sandra.
I was just going to say the evolution of how we started with connecting to our host through landline phone, then through cell phone, then through Skype, and now since COVID, I guess, I don't know if COVID brought
still have those landline phones.
Yeah, we have a host maybe that's still doing the calls, shows with a landline phone, but the technology, as it evolves, we evolve. right? We don't stay in that space in the 70s or anything like that. Sorry, Ryan. What were you going to say?
We can talk about people, what our site is coming up. We just launched a new look and feel for Voice America. And there's more coming. Matter of fact, there's a bit of news. And one of the other things that being involved with the network, we find things out because we're connected to what's going on in the industry. And here's a little scoop. This is breaking news, folks. So pay attention. Next week, there's going to be a new capability on Facebook to integrate your podcast in an even more powerful way. So you can find out about that June 22nd. That's coming out. So if you were a host with us, you're going to learn about that before everybody else does, because we're going to keep you informed as far as new developments happening out there in the world in the media technology.
Love that, Randall. Way to be the insider with that information.
Yep.
Before we end this feed, we're on the tail end of what is Father's Day weekend. So, Randall, I want to wish you a happy Father's Day. I have to show off my T-shirt here. If you guys see, it says the Dadalorian.
Dadalorian.
My daughter Marley, who's actually over here. You're gonna, if you want to say hi, you have to come behind me because they can't see you over there. My daughter,
the dad DeLorean. If you were driving a DeLorean, what would you be?
A dad driving a DeLorean. Yay! But she insisted that I had to wear this shirt today.
All right.
Well, I also want to throw this up there to everybody. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, Ryan.
Happy Father's Day to you, Ryan.
Yeah. Happy Father's Day, all you fathers out there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, let's give a round of applause for all those fathers out there.
All the dads, all the fathers. Happy Father's Day to you. Yes.
I also want to give a shout out to all the moms, because if it wasn't for the moms, we wouldn't be dads.
We wouldn't be dads. That's right. Hey, thanks, Ryan. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you again real soon. We'll see you again when we see you, okay?
Yep. You guys are tuned in to Behind the Microphone right here.